Hey guys, it's Ivy. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my July wrap-up. I am honestly surprised at the amount of books I got through in July, and I'm really excited to talk about them. They were all really great reads, mostly. I don't think I gave anything like less than 3 stars, so that's really good. The first book I'm going to talk about is Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, and if you don't know already what this book is about, it is about this group of women who all share a secret, and it goes back to the beginning where they start to unravel the secret. And there was a murder that happened at this school function. I did give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I had seen the show first, and when I watched the show, I guessed the big, plot twist. Had I read the book first, I don't think I would have guessed it. It's kind of just different when you see it visually, I suppose, as to oppose of reading it with your, well, obviously you see it visually here, but you know what I'm saying. It's just like a little different when you're reading it as opposed to when you're watching it. So that is why I did give it the 5 out of 5 stars, is because I probably would not have guessed if I had read the book first. I love this show. I love the book. I had fun with both, and I do highly recommend both, and I really enjoyed this one. Oh, and it is definitely written at a very fast pace, which I really liked that as well. The next 3 books I'm going to talk about all together because they finish up a series. So we have White is for Magic, Silver is for Secrets, and Red is for Remembrance. All 3 of these are by Laura Fiera Stollarz. I read the first book a while back, so it's not in this conclusion, but these are books about a girl who has nightmares, and she can predict like when somebody is going to be harmed, and she is a little witchy girl, and she goes to school and she tries to help like her friends that in the first book, her friend is the one she's having the dreams about. And then I would say each book gets a little more intense as you go on. I did give all of these 3 out of 5 stars, and it was a really great series. It's a fun series. The neighbor is like out. I don't know if you can hear me, but it is a really entertaining, quickly placed young adult series about magic and mayhem, and these books also cover loss and grief, so they have really important topics in them, and I really enjoyed them. So thank you, Debbie, for letting me borrow these, and finally I read them for you and I like them, so yay! The next book I read is a graphic novel, and this is middle grade. It is Bug Boys by Laura, and I cannot say her last name to save my life. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at name pronunciations. I do apologize. I need to work on that. But this book is about bug boys, and they go on little mini adventures throughout the whole book, and each adventure has like a lesson that it teaches you. If you don't know, I did a full review on this with Landon because he read it and then he made me read it, and we both really enjoyed it and gave it 5 stars. So I highly recommend you guys watch that review if you haven't yet. And Landon wants to know, if you guys want him in more videos, if you guys want me to do more buddy reads with him, and then we talk about them together. We do have another book that he wants me to read, so maybe we'll do a review for that one. This book I think is so important for young readers because it teaches you a lot of lessons and a lot about your feelings and how it's okay to have those feelings and for things to be a little awkward and stuff like that, so really recommend. The next book I read was The Lovely War by Julie Berry, and this is a book about a war in the early 1900s and a love story. The love story is told in the perspective of Aphrodite. She is on trial for cheating on her husband, something like that, and so she has to spin a tale of love, and she does 2 different love stories, but they all intertwine. All the characters intertwine, and honestly, for historical fiction, I loved this. It's very rarely that like I find a historical fiction that consumes me, but the way Julie Berry writes is just so stunningly beautiful and descriptive and decadent. However, I did have a few problems with this because it is told in the early 1900s and war. There are a lot of racial slurs used in this, and I'm going to put trigger warnings on that. And you know, it is war, so people are killed, and it's devastating and heartbreaking, and this book brought me to tears, but the love stories are so magnificent. I really adored the love stories in this. They were so good. And there's a lot of talk of music, as some of the characters in this book are musicians, so I really enjoyed that. I do recommend this book, but I am gonna say just be aware and cautious of the racial slurs happening in here, as the time of this book was a time that things were not okay. The Aphrodite spin on this was just so fantastic. And if you're a fan of Downton Abbey, I think you will like this because it is in London, and so I really liked that. So I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know if I said that. If I didn't, here we are, 4 out of 5 stars. And I do want to read her other books because I did like her writing, and I really hope that her other books don't have so much racial slurs in there, as I really don't know the time period, but I am gonna read them and find out and see if I like her other books, if they're still historical fiction with like little magical realism twists. The next book I read was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is a mystery thriller. This is a whodunit book. I did enjoy this one. I did give it 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked the multiple perspective, multiple timelines. There were a lot of plot twists in this one. Everybody connected in weird ways and things that you don't expect, so I did enjoy that. I didn't give it a full 5 out of 5 stars because it didn't completely like blow me away. I did like the island setting. Some things that I were like, is there like weird horror, like ghostly things happening in here? Like, I wasn't sure, so I really liked that guessing aspect of that, and I do recommend this book. I had a fun time reading it. I should probably tell you guys what it is about. It is about a wedding, and at the wedding party a body turns up missing, and along the way you don't know who was murdered and who the murderer was, so it goes back and forth to explain everybody who's at the wedding party, what they're doing there, who they are, and everything. And there are lots of like trigger warnings here, suicide, stuff like that, so be aware of that. The next book I read, I listened to an audiobook, and that is Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars, and this book is about a boy. He's in an elevator and he's visited by all these ghosts. He's going there because his brother was shot and he wants to harm the person who did this. This book is a very delicate read. It's done extremely beautifully, and I listened to it on audiobook because Jason reads it himself, so you can interpret it the way he wants you to, as it is poetry. The ending, oh my gosh, I had to rewind it and listen to it like 3 times because I think it's kind of open to interpretation for you to decide what he chooses. But my goodness, I really enjoyed this one, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I finished this on audiobook. Tower of Dawn is a book that is very close to my heart in the Throne of Glass series because it is in the same vein as Heir of Fire, where it is very much a book about healing, and not just healing physical pain, but healing emotional pain and emotional trauma. So I just always love how Sarah includes that and writes about that because it's so important. This is the book that is in Kayal's perspective, but it's not just Kayal. It's Kayal, Irene, Nezrin, and a whole new cast of characters come in, and just so many plot twists happen. And this, like I said, is very close to my heart. It's a very beautiful novel. I still give it 5 out of 5 stars. My reviews for Throne of Glass will probably never change because it is my favorite series, and every time I read them I just fall more and more in love with them. If you haven't read Throne of Glass, do it now. The next book I read was The Do-Over by Jennifer Honeyburn, and this book is about a girl who, by the way, I read some of these books for the Reading Rush, so if you haven't watched that vlog, I'll leave that linked down below as well so you can check it out, and I go into more detail in that vlog about the books that I read during that week, so definitely please check that out if you haven't yet. Also, it's fun. Me and Debbie go to a cornfield to take pictures and just, you know, be adventurous, I suppose. Anyways, this book is about a girl who dates the popular guy in school, and she realizes that it was a mistake. She doesn't really like him. She likes her best friend, and she meets this psychic who gives her this stone to do over. She goes back to the moment where she decides, you know, to date the best friend or the popular guy, and when she wakes up, her entire life has changed. Not only has she changed that situation, but she's changed the situation with her parents, what her bedroom looks like, where she works, everything. And it is, whoa. This book was so good. It was so much fun. I was entertained. I really enjoyed reading this one. I love Jennifer's writing. It's just always so, you know, easygoing, fresh, and just entertaining, fun, like I said. So if you haven't read any of her books, I highly recommend that you do, and I recommend that you pick this one up. It is a quick book, and like I said, you'll be super entertained, and I really enjoyed this one, so that's why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, the final book I'm going to talk about was Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This is another book that I read for the Reading Rush, and this book is about a boy named Justice who is black but goes to kind of a prestigious white school, and it's him and his other black friend, and they're in this group of friends and on the debate team, and he has problems with some of the boys there being racist, but they claim they're not. But that is just like one aspect of this story. Another aspect of the story is the neighborhood he lives in and the gang members that are there. The beginning of this novel starts off with him being wrongfully arrested. His girlfriend, who is mixed but she looks more white, is really drunk, and he's trying to keep her from drunk driving, so he gets in her car and he gets arrested for like stealing her vehicle, and the cops won't even listen to him, and it just makes me so angry because he's just trying to explain, you know, like, this is my friend, I'm trying to drive her home safely, and the cops are just so disgusting, and they just keep getting more disgusting, and we need to keep having conversations about police brutality and police racism and racism everywhere. And he starts to write to Martin Luther King, and I can't even tell you guys everything that happened. You just need to pick this book up. You need to pick it up. You need to read it. Everybody needs to read it. This book needs to be in schools. And Nick Stone has a campaign running for, if you pre-order Dear Justice, it gives donations of that book. I think it's that book and Dear Martin, or if it's just, I can't remember which book they donate, but I will leave her campaign link down below so you guys can pre-order and join it. And it's got a hashtag and everything, so definitely please check that out so you can help get more books like this into the hands of young readers, and so they can know they're not alone. Please watch my Reading Rush vlog to see me try to go into more detail about this book. There's really so many things I want to say about this book, but it's extremely emotional and powerful, and it is a life-changing novel. Like, I mean, my eyes were already open, but just like reading it from a perspective of a young black man is just, I'm gonna get emotional now, so okay. This book wrecked me. It's one of the best books I have ever read, one of my favorites of the year, so please just pick it up. I'm gonna try not to cry, so I'm gonna put this down now. Okay. I can't even fully form a review of that book because I always just get emotional. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and end this wrap up. I will leave things linked down below. If you'd like to follow me on any other social medias, those will be linked down below as well. I would like to know what your favorite book that you guys read in July is. or that you're reading right now, or whatever you want to tell me. Leave some comments down below. As always, I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you have a beautiful day. May the force be with you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already yet. Okay, bye.